Welcome to We Win New. Prepare to witness some of the most jaw-dropping and disturbing aviation moments ever captured on camera. These moments will leave you stunned and maybe even rethinking your next trip. This is one flight you'll never forget. Let's get started. On July 9, 2023, a Hughes helicopter crashed when it was involved in an accident near Waldorf, Maryland. The flight crew of the helicopter detected an abnormal noise while in cruise flight, and the pilot felt a vibration in the collective. The crew chose to discontinue the mission and return to the departure airport. However, about 4 nautical miles from the airport, there was a loud bang/pop noise, and the helicopter yawed left. A Beechcraft King Air 200 executing an emergency wheels-up landing on runway 8 at Port Elizabeth Airport, South Africa, after the landing gear failed to deploy in March 2012. Thankfully, there were no injuries. A helicopter crash caused by misjudging the rotor radius is one too many, and this should be avoided at all costs. They take off between 2 buildings and not tow it to the apron or approved landing pad is the real reason that happened. Plain lazy. An AS-350B AA Star helicopter experienced servo control transparency while heli-skying near Bear Creek Lodge after the pilot buzzed the lodge and then applied aft cyclic, increasing rotor disc loading. During the Jet Gold class competition at the 2022 National Championship Air Races in Reno, Nevada, Hogue's jet began climbing unusually during a tight turn, then rolled sharply, descended in an uncontrolled bank, Addenbrooke's Hospital helipad destroyed by USAF Osprey departure by accident on April 21, 2021. After an impressive dirt landing and around 10 minutes of photos, she started up again before departing to Mildenhall. However, on takeoff, the rotor wash caught the rubber helipad mattings and completely destroyed the helipad, sending debris flying. At Prague Airport in the Czech Republic, a Boeing 737 passenger airliner was getting ready to land when it ran into a severe crosswind. As the plane touched down, it was trembling. Shaking from side to side, the skipper made the decision to take off once more. At last, he managed to stabilize the fuselage and made a safe landing. On September 24, 2017, at the air show in Terracina, about 76 kilometers south of Rome, an Italian Air Force Eurofighter F-2000A Typhoon from the test wing executed a high-speed loop over the sea. At the bottom of the maneuver, the jet failed to pull out, plunged into the water just a few hundred meters offshore, and disintegrated on impact, producing a massive plume of spray and smoke, visible to the horrified crowd. On December 13, 1969, Boeing test crew ferried the prototype Boeing 747-121 from Boeing Field to the short runway at Renton Municipal Airport. The aircraft undershot the runway by about 20 feet, causing the right side main gear to shear off against an embankment. The right engines and wings suffered damage, and small fires broke out. On December 5, 2021, shortly after taking off from Rogue Valley International Medford Airport, under low cloud ceilings, a 1977 Piper entered a steep spiraling descent and crashed into the parking lot of Airport Chevrolet on Biddle Road. The crash resulted in fuel-fed fires that destroyed over 20 vehicles and damaged dealership facilities, but no ground-based injuries occurred. The cause was pilot's spatial disorientation during the climb, possibly exacerbated by flicker vertigo from anti-collision lights and clouds. Landing at a field isn't really an emergency in a glider, even though an airport is preferable. Hope he's relatively near his guy with a trailer. The pilot was from Poland, and they are quite comfortable flying low to the ground, because there aren't many mountains in Poland.
No, to w przyszłym tygodniu stąd wyjadę.
A jaw-dropping surveillance camera clip from July 22, 2017 at Southwest Florida International Airport shows a bolt of lightning striking the tail of a Sun Country plane on the tarmac.
Go on. Yes. Go. Yes, mate.
When the helicopter is running while sitting on the ground, such as during touchdown, ground resonance might be dangerous. An imbalance in the rotor system may result from a sequence of landing gear shocks that travel to the rotor disc. Turkey sank a decommissioned Airbus A330 in the Gulf of Saros, Aegean Sea, about 1 nautical mile off Ebrise Harbour in Edirne province, creating one of the world's largest artificial reef structures at roughly 98 feet depth. During a mission or flight operation, the powerful Wright R-2600 radial engine of the Grumman TBF Avenger torpedo bomber unexpectedly caught fire, sending smoke and flames streaming from the engine cowling. On April 2, 2024, an experimental amateur-built Merlin Light motor glider was damaged when it was involved in an accident at the South Lakeland Airport, Mulberry, Florida. On 26 May 1988, the sleek English electric Lightning F6 thundered down the runway at RAF Binbrook for a departure to its new home at BAE Wharton. Skiathos Alexandros Papadiamantis Airport, located on the picturesque island of Skiathos in Greece, offers one of the world's most thrilling aviation experiences where, at the iconic spotter point just beyond the runway, spectators are treated to spectacular and heart-pounding moments as aircraft descend low over the beach. often just meters above the heads of onlookers. On September 17, 1936, at one of the national air races held in the United States, watchful spectators saw a thrilling aerial spectacle. One aircraft veered sharply, narrowly avoiding a crash just feet from the spectators. A Gulfstream G-450 made a breathtaking approach and landing at Bhutan's Paro International Airport, arriving from runway 15, a maneuver renowned among pilots for its extreme difficulty due to the airport's mountainous terrain, narrow valley approach, and short runway elevation nestled deep within the Himalayas. In 2025, a Beechcraft King Air 90 twin-engine turboprop crash-landed onto the roof of the Butler Avionics hangar at New Century Air Center in Gardner-Johnson County, Kansas. The plane carried two occupants, a 73-year-old male pilot and a 30-year-old female trainee, both of whom survived. No one inside the hangar at the time was harmed. On May 2020-2021, as a Bell 206B helicopter was lifting off, the helicopter pitched nose down and banked left so that the main rotor blades impacted the ground at Langley Regional Airport, Canada.
The G242, 10 seconds for touchdown. Touchdown now.
The pilot of this Italian Air Force G222 transport plane certainly put on a magnificent display, but it all came unstuck at the end. It came in nose first, and the nose wheel hit the runway well before the main gear.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was a small problem there with the undercarriage. Unfortunately, caused us to stop still for a while. Oh, geez. Straight up.
Hello. We don't off.
The place is famous for complicated conditions that require good training, crew highlands, a short runway, located at an angle of about 12 degrees, and capricious weather. A Yakovlev Yak-130 suffered an engine fire immediately after takeoff. Both pilots ejected and the aircraft crashed into the Karnafuli River, Bangladesh. A tourist helicopter crashed into a river in Russia. All passengers are safe. On October 27, 2024, a Robinson helicopter was substantially damaged when it crashed at the Pearland Regional Airport, Pearland, Texas. This is a new angle than the one you usually watch.
You okay?
Two Yakovlev Yak-52 aircraft of the Spanish-Portuguese Yak Stars formation team collided during the Beja Air Show, Portugal. Filmed on April the 24th, 1988 at Marine Corps Air Station El Toro during the local air show, the infamous video in this post shows the pilot smashing his plane into the ground. There was too much headwind, so they had to land on a cornfield.
Okay, das war nichts mit der Coke.
A Navy Grumman F-9 Cougar crashes on the deck of the aircraft carrier Essex, England in 1956. Flames and thick white smoke spewed from the engine of a Southwest Airlines flight from Houston to Cancun. On January 22, 2016, a helicopter crashed when one of its propellers struck the ground, causing damage to the aircraft in the Dominican Republic. On July 1, 1987, the Air Force crashed at Fort Bragg during a demonstration of the low-altitude parachute extraction system. These things just don't fly off like that without showing signs of wear or fatigue. You have to have them inspected.
Vixe Maria.
Ooh, that's not good.
On September 4, 2013, a flight from Raleigh to Atlanta, passengers were left stunned and anxious when the aircraft's left engine began emitting smoke mid-flight. Two small planes collided during an acrobatic display at the 2007 Radom Air Show in Poland. There were no reports of injuries among those on the ground. This is the first test landing of the Airbus helicopter of Manang Air, where the main rotor got plastic stuck while landing. The main reason is the rubbish plastics that were near the airport. The so-called shortening the landing roll, especially important in combat conditions on irregular airfields.
Side down a little early this time. Here we go. Getting closer and closer. Watch it, Eddie!
A vintage biplane crashed and burst into flames during an airshow 2014 at Travis Air Force Base. It was on the last leg of the show, flying upside down and low to the ground when it crashed.
The crash fire rescue on the way. They know what they're doing. CFR trucks are rolling.
Civil Guard helicopter crash due to pilot miscalculation, resulting in the rear rotor hitting the outer fence in Spain. A video has been filmed of the crash of a Polish Air Force combat training aircraft at the Gdynia airfield. A Delta Airlines airplane caught fire before it was supposed to take off at a Central Florida airport, forcing the evacuation of passengers.
Bugger!
These pilots just give a good show for the crowd, but be careful, everyone. This happened at the 1992 Hungarian airshow held at Tazar Air Base. Shortly after takeoff, a Robinson R-44 helicopter crashed into a banner pole that left many bystanders screaming in shock as they witnessed. A Bell 206 Long Ranger helicopter crash was caught on video, capturing the dramatic moment it went down. Fortunately, all occupants escaped without injury.
Ei, tá caindo. Tô filmando. Peraí, tô filmando, pô.
Oh, he just crashed.
The pilot had safely ejected from a plane after a failed landing at a North Texas military base. The ground ejection was very impressive. On March 24, 2014, a terrifying helicopter crash shattered the calm skies over Germany when, without warning, and leaving witnesses frozen in fear, On March 21, 2013, two helicopters clipped each other and crashed as they landed in a snowstorm near Berlin's Olympic Stadium during a federal police exercise. The video of the accident of the helicopter, which happened on June 18, 2008 in Grenchen, Switzerland, the pilot missed the landing on a platform. Nobody was injured. This is a beautiful Spitfire that had a problem with the landing gear. As you'll see, the pilot was amazing and couldn't have landed that any better.
Full flaps, he's going to get some burble off those trees and contact.
Nice, good job, dude.
A rare Second World War wearer Spitfire was forced to crash land in a field in West Hythe on May 3, 2025, just hours before VE Day commemorations were set to begin across the UK.
This is a Spitfire that has just crashed.
A small plane crashed in Boca Raton, Florida on April 11, 2025. The aircraft apparently had some mechanical issues and went down here on Military Trail.
Who's in this car?
A boat is stranded and its owner thinks it will be a great idea to go, get the chopper and give it a little tug, but it goes wrong. One of the world's most dangerous runways, Sint Maarten, a jumbo jet inches above beachgoers' heads. A Singapore Airlines jet made an emergency landing at Singapore Changi Airport on the morning of 27 June 2016, and her right wing and jet were on fire. Thankfully, the Changi Airport Fire Service swung into immediate action and put out the fire within a very short time. The Army helicopter crash video captured in the remote region of Solitario, Paraguay. It's a known issue with the fleet when the plane is fully fueled. Some fuel will overflow through a vent on the underside of the wing. An aircraft crashed during the West Coast Air Show at the Saldanha Airfield in the Western Cape, South Africa. The pilot reported an engine anomaly and decided to complete a forced landing.
Oh porca puttana!
A Honduran Air Force helicopter bearing the registration number FAH 953 was involved in a crash. This is the moment a World War II-era plane made an emergency sea landing in the water off a busy Florida beach.
Oh!
No one was injured in the incident, which came after the plane suffered a mechanical fault while taking part in the Cocoa Beach Air Show. On April 18, 2016, a helicopter was substantially damaged when it was involved in an accident near Arden Hills, Minnesota. It occurred during a Minnesota Aviation Rescue Team training mission.
Watch the rotor, watch the rotor. We're here.
A helicopter trying to install a telecom Christmas tree in Auckland, New Zealand, hit the propeller on the wire to maintain the tree. "39-year-old Chris Jordan was landing a single engine at the Johnson Creek Airport, Idaho, and a twin-engine Beechcraft Baron, also heading for a landing, came down on top of Jordan's plane about 60 feet in the air.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
¡Viene volando! ¡Se acerca! ¡Cuidado! ¡Che tu madre! ¡Cagamos, weón! ¡Che tu madre!
This happened during the 2013 Dakar Rally. A dramatic incident involving Chilean quad rider Ignacio Casale was narrowly avoided by a support helicopter. These guys filmed a close call with a helicopter.
After tenderly walked the last few steps of her armor, she began undoing the clasp, which legs it would be death.
Steps of her armor. She began undoing the clasp, which legs it would be.
The finish line is here. Don't forget to give us a like button and share your road encounters in the comments. And don't miss the video on the right side of the screen. See you soon.